Hi, good morning, children. How are you doing? Hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Today is going to be a poetry class, okay? And we are going to do or study We Are the Music Makers by Shaughnessy, Arthur Shaughnessy. So let's begin. Children, you should know what is an ode. Okay? An ode is a poem that is dedicated to one particular thing. It can be anything. And in all the lines, in all the paragraphs and stanzas, it speaks of that particular thing. It is too dedicated. It's like the bhakt dedicated to his Bhagavan, or the devotee who is devout worshipper of his Lord. So an ode is solely concentrated to one particular thing, and it's dedicated to it, and that's exactly why it is very, very beautiful and important in its own way. This particular poem, We Are the Music Makers, is also an ode. Okay, it is an ode which is being dedicated to the artists of the world, all the artists, the painters, the musicians, the sculptors, all the artists. Okay, and we'll see how Arthur O'Shaughnessy writes well about it. He wants to show that how important they are in today's world. It is needless to mention, children, that in the growing time periods, where high collared jobs, that is highly paid jobs like the business administration or chartered accountancy, or let's say a higher research works and all, have taken a toll over handicraft and sculpture, painting and art, and all these other beautiful vocations of creativity. So in today's world, it's very difficult to acknowledge any such work, any such designation which is low salaries, because our temperament has become like that. We have started measuring everything with the rod of money. We have become exceedingly and typically economists. So economics has started taking a toll, let's say, but then it's important on the other way. Economics plays a very, very important role, but at the same time there's something called spirituality, there's something called ethics, there's something called humanity. And when you think of these things, you cannot deny what the importance of creativity in the modern world. So all the things that is beautiful around in the world is a gift of creativity. It's a gift of painting, art, sculpture. It's a gift of, in fact, the histories are written and based on art. Histories are written and decorated with sculptures. The beautiful historical cities that are bedecking the whole country and country around, and even inside India or outside, they're all bedecked with beautiful sculptures. So everywhere you see its creation, everywhere you see its art and beauty. So even the gods, even like if I speak spiritually, and if I tell you something of from the world of spirituality, even the beautiful creation of the world is nothing but creativity of the God. He is the biggest painter, he's the biggest artist. He plays music through the wind, through the sea, through the ocean, through a lot of other things and beauty. And there is so much of beauty. There's beautiful contrast of the blue sky and the white swans flying across it. So everything is art, and that's what brings me to Ode to the Grecian Urn. That's one of the best poems that I've ever read. That's written by John Keats, who was a romantic poet of the time, and he had dedicated the entire ode on art. And he says, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Art does not fade away with time. Even Mona Lisa's painting till date, after centuries, is still smiling at you. If you capture Taj Mahal's beauty, it will always be there even after many, many centuries later, maybe if Taj Mahal doesn't stop to exist. So the world of art is immortal, is what John Keats said, and it's very, very important to remember him when you're doing something about art, when you're doing something about artists and creativity, right? So cutting it short, speaking technically about the poem has a rhyming scheme, a beautiful, well-trimmed rhyming scheme of A B A B A B and A B, and the odd numbered lines have feminine rhyming scheme, and even numbered lines are masculine rhyming scheme. The poem has alliterations also to give a musical effect to it. You know the meaning of alliteration: words beginning from the same alphabet, like Dreamers of Dream, DD. We are the music makers, MM. So there are a couple of beautiful alliterations that give it a musical effect. In fact, if you notice, children, almost all the lines of the poem, in fact, all lines of the poem begin with either a conjunction or a preposition. Why? Because it forwards the impetus. It gives it accentuates on the feeling, the view that the poet has tried to present here. And that's exactly why I told you it is an ode where every line has got a stressed element on what the poet has to say. So let's begin, cutting it again short. Arthur O'Shaughnessy's ode, and he has been a beautiful. He has been an English writer, English poet, and so he has written a beautiful ode here. So let's begin what it has to say. So that's all for today, children, and we'll begin again in the next class, and we shall be able to finish the poetry then. Till that time, do research on the poets, do research on city of Nineveh and Babel, do research on civilizations that are based on art and architecture, and how civilizations have also been completely wiped out from the face of the history, right? So till then, stay well and stay good, and keep in touch with studies. See you.